Hi guys, I'm going to throw something together and hopefully you guys will follow along and enjoy this. So this is a quinoa, it's golden. I have a yellow pepper. I have some mushrooms, about half a package there. I have an onion. I have a half a head of cauliflower. I have 2 kabocha squash. This one here I just cleaned and took the seeds out. And I have 2 yams. And I have some fresh garlic. Okay, so tonight I got to make everything sort of bland, but you can add any spices you want. I'm going to leave mine without any spices because my hubby needs it that way right now. So we're going to just start with a couple cups of quinoa. And we're just going to cook that up. Now I usually put garlic and onion powder on everything, and that's probably what I'll do with my portion. So we're going to go ahead and, so 2 cups of quinoa. And we're going to go with about 16 cups of water. Okay, so my pot only holds 12 cups of water, but if you have a larger stock pot, you can put 16. I'm going to go with 12, and if I need more water, I'll add it. And this is going to cook for about 14 minutes. So I always start my stuff up on high, and then I'll turn it down as it starts to boil. So next, my hubby brought in these fresh vegetables from our garden. This is just greens. So this is turnip greens and can't think of the right radish leaves. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to take a pair of scissors. I'm going to cut off the bottoms, even though you can eat them. I don't want to, but because they're sort of, like that. I'm just going to cut this part off and put that out in our compost. But the rest of this is good to eat, so I'm going to put this right in my stock pot. And that's what I'm going to do next. So once I get the bottoms cut off, then I'm just going to take my scissors and sort of chop them in half so that we have a little bit smaller to go in the pot. You don't have to do this. You could keep them long if you want. If you have fresh leaves like I do, fresh greens. But otherwise you could get them from the store too. This is sort of just cooking basically what I have and making it a wholesome, nutritious meal. Okay, so now I put them in my stock pot and I'm going to cook this up with the rest of the vegetables. Okay, next I have some long grain white rice. I'm going to cook some of that, and I'm also going to mix it with some long grain brown rice because I like the taste of both rices together, and it also stretches the rices. I'm going to use, I'll say, a cup of each. And so you always want to pour your rice into your cup, measuring cup, like this, and then you're going to strain it. Okay, here's the brown rice. You can go over like a heaping. I like to do like a heaping cup. Okay, and then just throw it in there and go ahead and rinse it. Rice can be very dirty sometimes, so that's why we want to rinse it really well. Back in the olden days, I read somewhere, I'm trying to think of Hawaii or somewhere, that they had put asbestos in the white rice. And of course, that was years ago. Now, it's not like that anymore, but you rinse it really, really well before cooking any type of rice. And you can mix it together like this because they'll both cook pretty good around the same time. Okay, once the water starts to run clear, which it looks like it is, this doesn't look too dirty. I've had rices where they were real dirty. And you can just toss them into your pot with some water. I do 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water, so there'll be 4 cups of water to the 2 cups of rice. Okay, so I want to clarify, that was arsenic, not asbestos. That was years ago in the rice, in the white rice. And that's why you should really clean your rice well. So here we go with here's the 4th cup of water. Now we're just going to go ahead and put that on the stove. And we're going to go cook that as well. I'm running out of stove room. Because we have the can't think what I'm cooking. Help me out, guys. I'm losing my brains. What is this called, honey? Do you remember? Quinoa. Oh, geez. Okay, so that's quinoa there, and now we're going to put the rice here. And again, I do high, and then as it cooks, I'll bring it down to low, and then I cook that about 20-25 minutes with the lid over top afterwards to soak in all the water. Okay, so I'm just going to be simple and just put I put the two yams on a plate, just a little bit of water down here, and then I just took my knife and poked holes in it, and I'm just going to go ahead and bake those about 13 minutes in the microwave. So what we have here is a potato thing. You hit that like 3 times, and it comes up to 11 minutes, and then you just keep pressing till you get, I'd say 15 minutes, and then I check it. 15 minutes and 24 seconds. Then we'll check it after to see if it's done. So next step I'm doing is just removing the skin off of the squash. This is the kabocha squash over the sink. So I'm going to do that on both pieces. Okay, so what I decided to do is just get one of these strainer thingies, and I'm just going to put it down inside this pot here and to cook the greens. And I'm also going to cook up the 2 pieces of squash that I have here like that. Steam them. So I thought this would be a fun shape to cook my squash in, or cut them in. So that's what I'm going to do with the rest of this. So I'll show you. Hopefully you can see. I have to move this cauliflower over a little bit. Just take the knife and come down long ways on it, like that. Sometimes it's just all about, you know, making something different. Something you've eaten a lot in your life, but making it different. You can, by the way, eat the skin. I just didn't prefer to today. It's really good if you cook these up with the skin on and then throw them in a blender. It makes a really good squash soup. And then a little plant-based milk. Okay, so see what I'm going to do with this is just throw it right in here with the greens. And I'm going to let that steam just until they're tender. Probably about 20 minutes on that too. This is just a real simple, basic dinner. Here we got the rice back there cooking. I have it on a 6 now. And the quinoa up here on a 6 as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut up the rest of these vegetables. And I'm going to make them sort of chunky. And we're going to saute them. I think that'll taste really good. And I'll show you guys how to saute without any butter or oil or anything like that. This is a very way to eat things that you want to be healthy and you don't want the added fat. So what you want to do is get yourself a pan. It's going to have to be a big one. This one here is pretty big. I don't know if you can see it all. It's a little angle here. See? It's a big one. I don't know what kind of pan it even is. I think I just got it at Walmart. Not real expensive or anything like that. Let me position this. You're just going to throw it in your pan. So we're going to cut up the, I'm going to actually move this one here over this pot to the back burner because I'm running out of room. So we're going to put this on the front burner. I'm going to add water into this now because the burner's already on. I'll show you what it looks like in 1 second. So, you see I added about, I don't know, maybe a cup or 2 cups of water. I'm just going to go ahead and stick it on there. Because like I said, I'm running out of room, so I put the other one on the back burner. And let's go ahead and finish cutting up the rest of these vegetables so we can get it all in there with the mushrooms. Everything I cut up today is going to be sort of big and chunky because that's kind of what I'm going for. sort of like this, the long strips. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It's pretty sunny here today. It's a nice day. Can you see me? Let's see. Ooh, I hope you can see what I'm doing. Sometimes I can't tell which angle this thing is in. Now I have to add a little bit of water to the rice because it cooked down quite a lot. Like I told you earlier, you can always add water, you know, and put a lid on your pot. All right, now we get to the onion. This is just a yellow onion, and we're just going to go ahead and cut it up. Same way, I'm not too particular about how anything really looks today. I just want it to be, you know, edible, delicious. Actually, you don't even need spices when you cook healthy like this, because this is all the spices you really need is what's in it. It's in the vegetables itself. Just like that. I'm just throwing it in my pan. I know it's out of view. I have some garlic here. This is the purple garlic. If you ever seen that in your stores, it's delicious because it's very mild in flavor. It's not like the white garlic. White garlic is very strong. So I discovered this purple garlic a long time ago. I don't know if they call it purple or red. They may call it red garlic. But I discovered it a long time ago, and I told my honey, I said, you know what, I think we'll start using that instead, because, you know, your breath can really smell with your strong garlic. This is just what it looks like. It comes in bulb. And it's not too bad. But see, all of it's beautiful. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. It's all purple and beautiful. And I like a lot of garlic. It's very healthy. It's more healthy, I guess, if you eat it raw. But you can cook with it too. It's not a big deal. I think we'll go ahead and use about 6 cloves of garlic. These other ones we'll have for salads or something where, you know, we can eat it raw. Get it in its plain form. And it sounds like my potatoes are done. I can hear them in the microwave beeping. And I like cooking them in the microwave because it doesn't take a long time. And sometimes I cook them in the oven too. But I like to cook potatoes in the microwave. It's quicker for me. And they're still healthy, you know. You don't really ruin too much nutrition like you think. That you might think. So, alright. So we see those 3 pieces of garlic. I'm just going to slice them like this. Not very big. I mean, not very small today. It's kind of the motto today. Everything large. Large and in charge. There we go. See? And I'm just going to go ahead and throw them in the pan. So all you have to do is put your water in and put your vegetables. And we got one more vegetable to cut up. And this is going to be the half a head of cauliflower. I was kind of saving this cauliflower to make buffalo wings. Cauliflower wings. They taste like buffalo wings, but I decided to just go ahead and use it in this dish that I'm making today. And that's how I cut. Just cut around, and I'll leave these kind of whole. See, I like to break them apart. If they're too big, of course, I'll give them a cut. But just sort of like that. And like I told you earlier, I'm just making everything's going to be plain today without the spices because my honey is needing them plain today. And I'll probably put garlic and onion powder on mine when it gets to the table. But until then, everything will just be cooking in its own juices. And it'll taste delicious, I'm sure. Okay, so let me show you what we got going on here. So there we go. We've got all the vegetables in there. I'm going to grab a spatula, if I can find one quickly. And we're going to, let's see. It has to be, I'll use a spoon. That's fine too. Just want enough water in there that you're going to be able to saute this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a lid to the top of this. And we're going to go ahead and cook this down. And I added a little water to the rice. Stir that up and show you. See, it's looking real nice. And let's see what we got back here. We got the quinoa. Let's see how it's looking. Oh, look at that. It's about ready. And I didn't put a lid on here, so I will do that. But I do have my steamer basket in the bottom. And we're just going to cook this up. Get a lid for that. And a lid for this. Okay, so these potatoes been over here beeping and beeping. I just want to show you what it looks like. So you still see there's a liquid on the bottom. And what you do is just take a fork and you poke it in. And you can kind of feel, so this feels sort of hard in the middle because these were pretty big potatoes. So what I'm going to do is just poke the holes at the top and then flip them. And just give them another poke. 3, 3, 3 on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and cook these. So there we go. Potato. And I'm going to, oops, not that one. Potato twice on this time. And that gives it about 7 minutes more. Okay, so you see this quinoa? It's like thickening up. It's about done. When it does that, it thickens up. Then we'll just shut it off afterwards. I got the rice covered because it was done. I'll show you what that looks like. So I had to put this on because this is an old pizza pan because I don't know where the lid is. I did shut it off. And now it's going to soak up the juices. And we're still cooking here. Just plain water. And I just keep tossing this a little bit at a time until these veggies cook down and become very tender. All right, now this guy has got to get shut off because he's ready. He's splattering. So we're going to go ahead and shut him off. And this is done. That is. So this is kind of funny, and I wanted to show you. So there was the rice, and there's the lid. And I had nowhere to put this, so I put him up on top. This way he doesn't splatter anymore, because he was on these burners, and it was hot, both of them. And then I pushed that guy to the back so he can cook down. And we still got this little guy cooking over here. And the potatoes just went off. All right, let's look at these now. Oh, yeah. See? When you start seeing this juice running, that means they're done. They leave out a really delicious juice of their own. Yeah, see? Beautiful. So my honey just brought us in some fresh spinach leaves from out in our garden. Here's what they look like. And I just rinsed them off. And this will be a nice little treat on the side. We can eat them raw with this meal. Yum. A neat little trick is to add a little bit of water to a cup. And then you can store your fresh greens in there until you're ready to use them or to eat them. So that's what I did with these little guys. Okay guys, now our squash is ready. See, it's nice and tender. That's how you can test it with a fork. And our greens is nice and tender. So you don't have to double rinse your rice, but I like to. So now it's done and it's all soaked in. I'm just going to rinse it under some warm water. So here's all I do. I just put it in the strainer. This water is actually hot water, but it just sort of gets out that pasty, you know, stuff that comes with rice and I guess the starchy stuff. So I just do that and give it a good tossing. Okay, and now I'll also go ahead and I like to strain this too. Get all this pasty stuff off. And same way as I did the rice. This is how I do it. I put the hot water on and then I just kind of go around with my spoon just to get all that pasty stuff or the starch, whatever you want to call it, off. Now I just want to show you the texture. See, once you get the starchy, here's what it looks like now. So it's nice and thick and all the liquid is rinsed off. I just hot watered and I just do that and keep stirring it, and then it turns out really nice if you do it like this. So this here's it's almost done. Actually, I think it is done. And I tested it again by putting a fork into it, and if it goes in tender, you know, feels tender enough, or if it breaks apart, you know it's ready. And like I said, there's no oil or no butter, just a little bit of water, which I showed you. You can always use this juice for veggie stock for making soups and things like that too, if you want. Okay guys, now I'm just straining the squash and the greens. And these here are finally done, the mixed vegetables. And so I'm going to go ahead and shut that off and I'm going to go ahead and plate this up. So can't wait to show you the finished product. Okay guys, here you go. Here's the delicious meal that we just cooked together. So here we got the yam. Down here's the rice. I put the quinoa here, mushrooms, the peppers, the cauliflower and the garlic there. And here's the collard greens and the radish leaves there, and here's fresh garlic, here's the squash, and then here's the fresh spinach right here in the middle. So there we go. There's a nice, healthy, simple, plant-based dinner. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're almost to 500. How exciting is that? All right, stay tuned for more videos. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.